The Weather Show with Vin Crosby cannot operate without great sponsors. And the Spa and Pool Center, they've been in business for 30 years. They're a great sponsor. Yep, the Spa and Pool Center on Fairview. You know where they're at, just across from Winco. You can also find them at the spaandpoolcenter.com, or you can call them at 376-1514. And speaking of pools, you know it only takes them about 2 weeks to get a pool installed. That's right. Fast, effective, and you could be jumping in those cool waters when that sun is baking. So thanks to our great sponsor, the Spa and Pool Center of Boise. You can go and check them out online at the spaandpoolcenter.com or 376-1514. That's 376-1514. The Weather Show, happy to partner with the Spa and Pool Center. This weather brought to you by Security Gold and Silver Exchange on West State Street in Boise, 3400 West State Street in Boise. You walk in that door, you get great customer service by friendly folks who've been doing it over 43 years. They know the business. They're the most respected gold and silver dealer in town, and they've got the best prices. $325 over spot price for American Silver Eagles. You can't beat that. $295 over spot price for a set of 500. Tremendous sales going on over at Security Gold and Silver Exchange on West State Street in Boise. You can call them at 343-5050 or stop by. They love to see people, meet people, and to say hi. Security Gold and Silver Exchange, proud sponsors of the Weather Show with Vin Crosby. Vin Crosby. The heat advisory is on for Friday and Saturday. Dangerous heat. Temperatures 100, about 106 degrees. The air temperature is right around 100 degrees now. I want to demonstrate to you the dangers of putting pets, leaving children or yourselves in a car without air conditioning. And this is a black vehicle. I'm going to put this thermometer in there for just a short period of time, just to demonstrate just how hot and how quickly the temperature is going to rise. So we're going to put that in there. So while we are doing our weather report here, we'll see just how hot and how fast that temperature rises by the time we're done. All right, the heat advisory is up. I mean, it is hot. We all know that. It's bearable, but you need to take some precautions for some conditions, like if you're exercising. Most of you who exercise are very mindful of this. You're just going to do it in the evening, or you want to do it in the mornings, evening after sunset. And that's when the temperatures will cool down. You want to drink lots of water, lots of fluids, because the heat cramps will settle on in. The minute you start getting heat cramps, that is a sign that you definitely need to stop, get inside, and find the shade immediately. Because the next stage up from that is the heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion is one of the biggest killers that is out there. It's a silent killer, especially for folks that work outside on blacktop surfaces or up on roofs where temperatures can soar. Vehicles like this that are dark vehicles where the temperatures can rise, dark colors absorb the heat. Light colors will reflect heat. So you want to make sure you're wearing lighter colors, not the dark shirts like I have on here. All right, lots of fluids. Heat exhaustion, the deadly killer because it's silent. Yep, but if you stop to feel spit in your mouth, if you stop perspiring, that's where there's a sign that you could be encompassing heat exhaustion. And then there's no other signs. I mean, you just collapse. You just go out, and then it's game over. Death is usually the result if it's not treated immediately. So dangerous situations. But the temperatures in the vehicle, remember, the air temperature right now, we've been talking for what, maybe a minute 30. The air temperature outside around 100 degrees. I put that in, and this has tinted windows too into the car. So let's just take a quick look here. Already at 110. Already at 110 in the short time that we've been talking. So let's go back and put that in there and continue our little venture here to see just how hot the car will get. So 10 degrees warmer in about a minute and a half. Let's talk about being out in the water. Great times out in the water, but remember, you need that sunscreen. You need to make sure you just take all those precautions to keep yourself cool. Forecast details. Now, it looks like we got this dome of high pressure that's over the region, big ridge of high pressure, and that's where we usually get our heat. The models are playing around, toying with the idea of shifting the axis of the hot air slightly towards the east, right around southwest Idaho. So it's going to be a real interesting forecast to see how far east that zone goes. And if it goes east of Boise, down towards Mountain Home, Twin Falls, Burley, that's where the hottest temperatures will be going into early next week. But Canyon County, Meridian, points onto the west, will be cooler, slightly cooler, like temperatures in the 90s to around maybe 100 degrees, not in the low 100s. So it's still going to be very warm, just not hot where heat advisories will be warranted. And with this type of weather pattern, anything could happen if that ridge of high pressure gets a little stronger and moves and stays put. That's where we'll have those temperatures linger into the around 100-degree mark for maybe a day or two more. But I do think eventually that the axis of the very hot temperatures, triple-digit heat, is going to slide towards the east and move down towards Buell, Twin Falls, where temperatures will be skying to around 100 degrees, and then back towards Boise, and maybe even just west of Boise to around the connector and Garden City, maybe Highway 55, temperatures between 95 and 100 degrees in that realm, and then maybe even slightly cooler towards the tail end of the 7-day forecast going on in towards next week. You can catch my 7-day forecast, by the way, on Idaho Digital Channel 22.1. It runs, I think, about 12 times during the day. And 22.1 is where you'll find my 7-day forecast if it's not posted here on the Weather Channel, on the Weather Show. I used to work at the Weather Channel. All right, the heat's getting to me. All right, we better get inside and drink lots of water. All right, so temperatures real hot inside the car. I can look in there and peek in there. It looks like we're up around 114 right now. 114 in a matter of, maybe 2-3 minutes. 2-3 minutes since I've been talking. There are going to be big storms in other areas of the country if you're traveling, so watch out east of the Rockies. But back here in the west, high pressure is in control. The weather pattern is in a very slow-moving pattern right now. So I see that back towards, say New England, back out over into the Atlantic Ocean, there's a little bit cooler air there. And because the weather pattern is very slow, the Earth is actually going to move a little faster than the overall westerlies, which we're accustomed to. That's going to allow the jet stream, which controls air masses, to kind of change a little bit. And so I think that's why we stand a chance to get back into the 90s next week, with the overnight low temperatures coming back into maybe in the low 60s and back out in Canyon County back into the 50s. So interesting how that's going to transpire. All right, in about 4 minutes, temperatures on the outside around 100 degrees. On the inside, we're looking at 116 degrees inside the vehicle. So a 16-degree difference outside compared to inside the car. So definitely a deadly situation if you leave your kids, especially infants, elderly folks, dogs in there. It could be a catastrophic result. Hey, you're watching The Weather Show with Vin Crosby. Be sure to stop by some of our sponsors. Let them know you're watching the show. We so appreciate our sponsors. And we'd love to have you do us a little favor. Subscribe to The Weather Show if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. Very important to folks like me. And then tell your friends and family to do so. Say, yeah, I found Vin Crosby. This is where he's at. Please go ahead and subscribe to The Weather Show. The response I've been getting has been overwhelming. It's real humbling. It's great. I love this Treasure Valley. I love forecasting the weather, and I love trying to keep you YouTubers safe. I know many of you don't watch TV or listen to the radio anymore to get your local news. Look at that. We're up around 112 now as I've come out of the car. You can see the temperature starting to drop, but extremely hot inside the vehicle, especially black vehicles.